What if I told you that a single supplement made from an ancient botanical can help you drop fat, balance your blood sugar, prevent autoimmunity, and heal your gut? That's the power of berberine. If it sounds too good to be true, keep watching, because in this video, I'm revealing exactly how to take berberine for the best possible results. I'm a big fan of berberine, and so are lots of my clients and community members here on YouTube. But don't take it from me. Kylie lost 30 pounds in a few months when she added berberine to her daily routine. Stacy said that she definitely noticed curbing of her appetite after taking berberine for just 3 weeks. And Helen said that berberine helped her lose inches around her waist and improve her A1C after a lifelong struggle with emotional overeating. Here's the thing. I want you to succeed with berberine too, but just telling you to take it without any details might leave you feeling a little lost, which is why in this video, I'm sharing 4 best practices for taking berberine, including dose, duration, timing, and type. These guidelines are based on clinical research, plus my personal experience in taking berberine, and the past 15 years I've spent helping thousands of clients find functional medicine solutions. But before we get into the details, it's important that you understand what berberine is and how it can help improve your gut health, prevent autoimmunity, protect your brain, and promote healthy weight loss. Berberine is a natural compound found in plants like golden seal, Oregon grape, tree turmeric, and barberry. It's known for its bright yellow color and bitter taste, which is why most supplemental forms are encapsulated or in a tablet form instead of a powder or a chewable. That bitterness is one of the factors that makes berberine useful for improving gut function and microbial balance. Believe it or not, your gut has bitter taste receptors similar to the ones on your tongue, and stimulating those receptors can help improve digestion and satiety. It also influences the release of gut hormones like GLP-1. More on this later. But berberine isn't just another bitter food. It's also a powerful antimicrobial against potentially problematic bacteria, yeasts, viruses, and even parasites that cause imbalances in your gut microbiome. An unhappy microbiome can cause all sorts of problems, including blood sugar imbalance, gas and bloating, diarrhea and constipation, chronic inflammation, depression and anxiety, hormone imbalance, and of course, fat gain and/or trouble losing weight. Thankfully, our friend berberine can help us with this. Not only does it help handle overgrowth of unhelpful bugs, berberine also increases the helpful types of gut bacteria that produce energy sources for the cells of your intestines. It also boosts the quantity of a very special bacteria called Akkermansia muciniphila, which regulates inflammation and prevents gut barrier dysfunction, also known as leaky gut. Akkermansia does a lot of other cool stuff, which I talk about in the video I have lined up for you after this one, so be sure to stick around for that after we finish up here. If your gut microbiome is really unbalanced, or you have particularly nasty bugs living in your intestines, they can kick up a fuss when berberine enters the scene. This is one of the reasons that some folks have digestive side effects when they take berberine, like temporary stool changes, gas, and bloating. Ultimately, this is a good thing. By getting rid of bad microbes, berberine can also relieve those very same symptoms over time. If you experience more than mild, short-term side effects when taking berberine, those symptoms are pointing you towards a deeper issue that needs to be resolved. My suggested next step is an advanced functional stool test. I'll put a link to my favorite at-home gut test kit in the video description in case this sounds familiar. Berberine is also a great tool for regulating the immune system, especially in the case of autoimmunity. One way that it can help calm autoimmunity is by lowering systemic inflammation. A 2024 study found that berberine modulated multiple mechanisms involved in the progression of multiple sclerosis. And it's also been shown to inhibit the inflammatory responses associated with rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, and inflammatory bowel disease. Like we already talked about, berberine also helps prevent and reverse gut barrier dysfunction, sometimes called gut hyperpermeability or leaky gut, which is a known trigger of autoimmune disorders, including Hashimoto's thyroiditis and MS. Berberine is unique in that it can cross the blood-brain barrier, giving it direct access to your neurology. By reducing brain inflammation and oxidation and promoting cell growth and survival, berberine has been shown to decrease anxiety and stabilize mood by supporting healthy levels of neurotransmitters. It has also been shown to improve symptoms and reduce progression in degenerative neurologic diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. If you have a family history of dementia, or you struggle with symptoms like brain fog, anxiety, depression, poor focus, or memory issues, supplementing with a high-quality berberine is a great option. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, berberine is one of the most powerful tools in my toolkit for helping folks overcome weight loss resistance. One of my one-on-one clients who'd been struggling with consistent weight gain for years, despite a really healthy diet, lost 5 pounds within just 1 week of starting my favorite berberine supplement. And one of my followers on YouTube, Peaches98, dropped over 10 pounds in just 4 weeks when she added berberine to her healthy weight loss plan. How does it work? Well, berberine helps keep blood sugars and insulin levels from being too high or too low. When your blood sugar stays balanced, it not only helps your body burn stored fats, but it helps prevent type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and elevated cholesterol. Berberine has also been shown to activate a regulatory compound called adenosine monophosphate kinase, or AMPK, which is known as the master metabolic switch in fat and muscle cells. This is especially important because your metabolism tends to slow down with age and decline, along with hormones like testosterone and even thyroid hormone. Berberine helps boost your body's production of glucagon-like peptide 1, aka GLP-1. You may have heard of this peptide in the context of medicines like Ozempic. And while your own body's GLP-1 is not the same as these drugs, it does help lower appetite and food cravings and slow down how quickly food moves from your stomach to your intestines, which keeps you feeling full longer. Pretty cool, isn't it? All right, let's take this out of the theoretical and into the practical with my 4 best practices for taking berberine, starting with how much or what dose you should take. Given that a quick literature search reveals over 20,000 research articles published about berberine since 2020 alone, with hundreds of thousands before that, you can probably guess that not every study uses the same dose. But we do have some helpful data. For example, one meta-analysis found that participants who took 1 gram of concentrated berberine significantly lowered their cholesterol, BMI, weight, fasting glucose, hemoglobin A1C, and other metabolic markers. In another trial, participants who took 500 milligrams of berberine 3 times per day for 3 months experienced a reduction in hemoglobin A1C, fasting blood glucose, postprandial blood glucose, and triglycerides, similar to that of people treated with metformin. I typically start my one-on-one clients on 500 milligrams taken twice per day, but some folks do better with 500 milligrams once per day, especially if they've never tried a practitioner-quality berberine supplement before. I'll talk more about what type of berberine I recommend in a minute, but just so you know, I've included a link to my favorite berberine product in my free functional fat loss download. You'll find it in the video description. Now that you know how much berberine to take, what about duration? Specifically, is it okay to take berberine for a long time, or is it more of a short-term thing? This is a question I get fairly often because there are a few health experts who suggest that because berberine is antimicrobial, it should only be taken short-term. The theory behind their recommendation is that you don't want to accidentally kill off the good bacteria in your gut along with the bad. The problem is that berberine isn't the same as an antibiotic. It doesn't indiscriminately ravage the microbiome. In fact, there are several studies that show berberine helps increase the quantity of some helpful microbes, including keystone strains like Akkermansia, which I mentioned earlier. The best we can say with the evidence we currently have is that berberine acts as a microbiome modulator, working to balance the bacteria in your gut. While it doesn't carry the same weight as a clinical trial, I can tell you that I evaluate a lot of stool tests, and I have yet to see long-term berberine supplementation negatively impact the gut microbiome. That said, if you're not utilizing berberine to help with type 2 diabetes or maintain healthy insulin levels, you could certainly take a break every few months. But for best results, I'd suggest taking it for at least 3 months consecutively. Consistency has been really helpful, especially in cases where weight loss is the goal. When should you take your berberine supplement? Well, because berberine has a short half-life in the body, it makes sense to take a divided dose. For example, 500 milligrams at breakfast and 500 milligrams at dinner. Because it helps manage blood sugar, it's a good idea to take berberine with or right after meals. This also helps minimize any digestive side effects and enhance absorption. Last, but certainly not least, I want to talk about what type of berberine I recommend. This is important because the supplement landscape is unfortunately clouded by hype, fear-mongering, and straight-up dishonesty, making it tricky to choose a legitimate evidence-based product. And I don't want you to end up taking a berberine supplement that doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. So when I consider the amount and quality of research, the pharmacokinetics, and the safety and dosing evidence, as well as availability of high-quality supplements out there, the type of berberine that I recommend is berberine HCl. That doesn't make dihydroberberine or berberine phytosome or other boutique variations of berberine bad or dangerous by any means. If you feel that it works better for you, I'm not going to argue. But when it comes to preponderance of evidence, since berberine HCl is the most widely studied purified extract with the most preclinical and clinical data supporting its effects, it has a definite edge on other extracts. So now that you know how to take berberine to lose body fat, prevent dementia, calm autoimmunity, and balance your microbiome, head on over to the video description to download my Functional Fat Loss Trio user guide. You'll also find a link to order my preferred berberine supplement at a really nice discount from my Fullscript dispensary. If you're curious about functional gut testing, you'll find that info in the video description as well. Or you're welcome to pop a request for more info in the comments. I do my very best to answer those, and I so appreciate your words of encouragement and your constructive questions. Thanks so much for being here, for supporting my channel with your likes and subscribes, and for spreading the word about the work I'm doing. I appreciate it more than you know. We'll see you in the next video.